Frank Carson is on the line. Frank, you knew Joe for a long time, didn't you?
Oh, many, many years. Going back, 40 years.
I'm sure you're terribly sad today to hear about it.
Heartbroken. One of the all-time greats of Ireland. You know, a voice which, for me, puts him in the same power as Pavarotti. This wonderful, deep voice. I mean, he would have took a tear out of his stone when he used to sing, "I'll Take You Home Again, Kathleen."
That's right, yeah.
It was absolutely beautiful. And then, of course, when they made the film about him, Hear My Song, you know, it didn't reflect the real Josef Locke, you know, and the great wealth of fun this man was. You know, I always remember him saying about, you know, they said to me there, funny enough, just on Saturday I was a guest of the Mayor of Blackpool. All the shows go in turn to meet the Mayor of Blackpool, and he said to me, "You played here so long and lived here so long." He said, "We should call you Mr. Blackpool." Isn't it funny? I said, "There's only one man that title belongs to." I said, and that's Josef Locke.
Well, that's where he was. That's where he made his name.
Oh, he not only made his name, he conquered Blackpool.
There was a time, I remember talking to him, and he was telling me that when he was at his prime in Blackpool, and I think we're talking about the mid-30s.
That's right.
He was making 2,000 quid a week.
Indeed.
And I remember working that out. And I said to him, if you were making that kind of money this year, you'd be able to buy 10 cars a week.
Be able to buy Craigan.
I mean, that was about £200,000 a week he was making. I mean, that's incredible money. No, I don't think anybody ever made that.
Well,
kind
maybe
of money.
Sometimes he was a bit bombastic, you know. £2,000 in the 30s. There was only one man I know who earned £2,000 or £1,000 in the 20s.
King George.
That was Harry Lauder.
Well,
if Phil Coulter had been alive in those days, Phil would have made it.
Well, Phil would have saved it.
Hey?
Phil would have saved it.
Well, Big Joe, the funny thing about Big Joe was, I was up in Bundoran with, funny enough, a chap we were talking about the other day, Brendan O'Dowda.
Yeah.
And Big Joe was stopping at the Great Southern Hotel. I think it's the Great Northern maybe now.
Yeah.
McAniff's place.
That's right.
And we went up there, and Big Joe says, "Come up afterwards." And it was the 12th of July. And I said, "Certainly." So went up on O'Dowda, of course. They asked me to do a few gags, which I readily done, and then O'Dowda got up and sang after Big Joe refused to get up and sing. Well, O'Dowda sang one song and went off to bed, and then Big Joe says, "I'll show you what a singer really sounds like." We couldn't get him to sit down then.
That's what he's like.
And, well, he used to buy his cars of Harold McGarity there, you know, Honda.
Yes, I do.
And he used to change his car, and Harold would say, "Well, it'll cost you £1,000 to change your car, Joe." And he used to say, "It's only one chorus from Goodbye from the White Horse."
He was a prickly man, wasn't he?
Oh, dear, he could be.
He was awkward to deal with. You need to watch what you said to him. I remember talking to him one time, and but he was a very unsentimental man. He wasn't sentimental. I didn't think he was, anyway, because I remember talking... Man. Do you remember that film, Hear My Song, with Adrian Dunbar? Yeah. I remember talking to him about that, and I said to him, "You missed a golden opportunity there, because, as maybe people don't realise this, but the voice singing his songs on it is not him."
Yes.
See, and I said to Joe, "You missed a golden opportunity there. There's a film, you know, this huge film, and it's the only film that was ever made about you, and, you know, your voice is not heard on it." And he said, "I don't care." And I said, "Did they not ask you if you could use your voice?" And they said yes. I said, "Why on earth didn't you let them?" He said, "They didn't offer me enough money."
Oh, he's like that.
He didn't care about posterity.
I'll tell you another thing too. I mean, if the King and Queen of England had walked on the stage, if Joe wasn't top of the bill, he wouldn't go on.
That's right, yeah.
He was one of the old type, like Harry Bailey. We went to, Harry Bailey lived in Malahide.
Yeah.
And we went, and Harry was running for mayor of Malahide. So me and Joe Dolan and all the crowd came along to support old Harry, you know.
Yeah.
And Joe got up to sing 2 songs. And I was to go on after him. God bless you, couldn't.
No, you couldn't. No.
He was absolutely wonderful. I'll tell you what happened. When he left Bundoran, he was on his way from Bundoran to somewhere. And I had rang Leslie Grade, who one of the very famous doing Leslie Grade, you know, and he was Joe's agent.
Yeah.
And I rang the guards to where Joe was going. I forget where it was. There was somebody buried down the line somewhere. He was going to see the grave.
Yes.
Was it Keats?
Where was this again?
Going from Bundoran to somewhere.
Probably Keats, yeah.
Yeah.
He was buried in Sligo. Keats is buried in Sligo.
That's it.
Yeah.
So I got, and the guards tell him, and he rang me back. I says, Leslie Grade wants to talk to you. Well, you know, he left Britain under a cloud because he didn't pay his tax.
Well, yeah.
Now, he'd been away for years. He used to nip in and out of the north of Ireland because his son was in the RUC.
That's right.
The Mersey Hotel.
Yeah.
Which was a very upmarket place. So he got Joe a caravan. And him and his missus were in the caravan. And I used to go around every morning and have a cup of coffee with him, you see. He said that he used to sing it in his song, we'd make a bonfire of our troubles.
That's right.
He said, we'd get all the income tax papers and put them on top as well. And anyway, he went to court in Manchester.
Yeah.
And it turned out that the magistrate, to purge his contempt, you see, the magistrate turned out to be Joe's barrister.
Great. Oh, brilliant.
So, Joe purged his contempt of court, and the income tax, he came to a deal with them. The taxman rang him one morning and asked who owned the caravan, that they were coming to take it. But Joe said, well, you can come, it's not mine. He says, hold it. So he turned around, he put the phone down, he says to me, what we're going to do is, me and you will get this caravan towed down to the middle of Manchester.
Yeah.
And we'll go down to the tax office and we'll leave it outside and we'll get a lot of publicity. I said, Joe, I've got the very title, Lock, Stock and Barrel. Or Lock, Stock and Caravan.
Lock, Stock and Caravan. Yeah.
He was a wonderful character.
He was great. You know the thing about I'm sure you'll agree with this about him. You know, people have said to me before, you know, what was all the fuss about Joe Locke? And because when you hear him on record, you don't get any idea of what he was like. Do you know what I mean? Because you need to hear him singing live. He had the most powerful voice I've ever heard. And it was actually overpowering. And when you play his records, you don't somehow get the sense of that. You know, but he just sounds like a good singer.
Well, one of his lifelong friends, a man he started in show business here, is called Phil Kelly.
Yes.
And Phil's in Blackpool here, still working away, Phil.
Yeah.
He brought Joe, he toured Big Phil as well, and taught Phil the rudiments of show business. The funny thing about show business is you could be at it all your life and still learn nothing.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
Big Locke said to me one time, he said, do you know you're doing a very bad thing? I said, what's that? He said, you're telling jokes to the first 6 rows. He says, remember, and if you ever watch me now on stage, you'll see I look at absolutely everybody in the theatre, no matter where they're up top, down there, so-and-so. He said, that's what you want to do. And you know, I've watched so many people since that, like the late Les Dawson, who done Callan and Ball, who I'm with at the moment. Yeah. They do the same thing.
Well, the tendency is to talk to the people you can see.
Exactly.
Because you can't see them. You can't see them up in the gods.
Trying to make everybody think it's you they're speaking to.
That's right.
But he was a wonderful, and he was sadly missed.
Yeah.
You're going to play a record of Maya?
Yes. What do you think I should play? I've got them all here. What do you think? I was going to play Blaze Away, but what do you think?
Have you got I'll Take You Home Again, Kathleen?
Yes, I have.
I'll play that one.
Okay, then.
And that was a very beautiful record you played there.
Wasn't that nice?
Well,
before that, that's Roma Downey.
Is that a local girl?
Yes, she's a big star on TV in America.
Is she? Yes.
It's a thing she does a thing called Touched by an Angel. You may have seen that.
Oh yes,
sure.
I've seen that.
Well, that was good, yeah. Okay,
that
well, Phil, sorry, I'm calling you Phil. Just goes to show. I'm just looking at the CD and I see Phil Coulter's name on it.
Yes.
Frank, Joe will be sadly missed.
Well, Derry has lost a great star.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you a wee thing before you go. Yeah. A lot of your older listeners might remember this. There was a little man who ran about Derry. Joe used to do an impression of it for me, and I used to roar my head up, called Chinny Ornament. And this wee man used to wobble as he walked. Yes. And he had these wee ornaments, selling them for tuppence or threepence. You know. Yeah, and he said, well, he became a bit of a recluse, and when he died, they took him down to wash him, and they stripped him. They found a Derry Celtic football jersey on him, and they'd got out of football 14 years before.
He's wearing it underneath,
that was one of Joe's jokes. I used to say to there's Chinny Ornament.
All right, Frank.
All right.
Okay, Frank. Thanks for talking to me today.
Great pleasure, Jerry.
Sad day.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to listen to it.
Yeah, here we go.
I'm I'm going to go out and listen to it on the radio. I'm switching the phone off on you.
All right.
And give my regards to Sean.
Okay.
Bye now.
Bye, Frank. Bye. Bye. That's Frank Carson, lifelong friend of Josef Locke. And here is Josef Locke. I'll take you home again, Kathleen.